Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Shipway. I'm now your AMCTO, immediate past president, and I am currently the Chief Administrative Officer at Middlesex County. It's been a while since our last Municipal Monitor Extra, and I'm excited to host this episode around our Q2 issue that was released in June. In case you missed it, you can visit municipalmonitor.ca to read past digital editions and see our 2025 Ontario Municipal Buyer's Guide. Today, I'm joined by Michael Jacek, Senior Policy Advisor at the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, or as we know it, AMO, to provide further insights and updates on his Q2 article, which was co-written with his colleague Alicia Neufeld, entitled Municipalities Under Pressure, the Human and Financial Cost of Homelessness in Ontario. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the opportunity. Happy to be here.
Great. Your article, it's based on a report of the same name released by AMO in January of this year. Perhaps you can start off by telling us how the report came to be and about the objectives of the research.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I would say, first of all, that homelessness has been top of mind for AMO's board and our members. And as is indicated in the title, municipalities are feeling the pressure, the impact of the homelessness crisis in the community and the growing human and financial cost. They're on the front lines. And we knew the situation was bad and getting worse for both people and communities. But we didn't have the data to be able to tell the story and to come up with the right interventions and the solutions. So the objective of the study was basically to develop a profile so we could get a better picture of what the current and future state of homelessness is in Ontario, around its scale, scope, and complexity. And then the second important part of the study was to come up with different interventions and cost them out. So we had an approximate cost of what those solutions would be. And we feel it was a groundbreaking study. Nothing's really been done like this before in Ontario, and I don't think in Canada either.
Yeah, I know we really enjoyed it. Historically, I think people think, large urban area, but the impacts of this are being felt all across Ontario in all types of municipalities. As you went through the process and conducted the research, do you want to talk about your partnership on the report? And is there anything surprising that you learned from the report?
Sure, yeah. So we couldn't have done this project on our own. We did have partners. Your members will probably be familiar with a couple of municipal staff associations that AMO works quite closely with, and we partnered with on the project. One was the Ontario Municipal Social Services Association, better known as OMSA, and the other was the Northern Ontario Service Deliverers Association, known as NOSDA. And basically, those two organizations, they represent the 47 municipal service managers in Ontario. And by municipal service managers, I mean those are the municipalities and the district social service administration boards up north that are responsible for housing legislatively and homelessness services. And most importantly, we partnered through those associations with those 47 municipal service managers, with their staff. There was great leadership that was provided through the project, and we really thank the program, the finance staff that really did the heavy lifting to provide all the data for this project. And we also partnered with or commissioned a project consultant called Help Seeker Technologies. They did a remarkable job for us working with the service managers, doing, again, that heavy lift. And they're a company that focuses on data solutions to complex social problems like homelessness, addictions, and community safety, that sort of thing. We did learn a few things from the report and things that surprised us. Again, because we'd always known anecdotally what the situation was, but again, we didn't have the data to be able to tell that story and to quantify it all. So the high number of homeless people in Ontario, first of all, we've talked about that being the size of a mid-sized city like the city of Peterborough. And with that, there was a high proportion of chronic long-term homelessness. So almost half of homeless people are chronic homelessness, which means they're stuck in the system for 6 months or more. And that becomes a real challenging thing to try to address. Also, the scenario modeling that we did, I think it was really staggering, the projected growth in homelessness. It's increased by 22% since 2022. And we modeled out what homelessness would look like in the next 10 years. And it's projected to increase. And in the case of an economic downturn, it could triple up to 300,000. And that's a real cause for concern. It would be really unmanageable. I think you've already mentioned homelessness is prevalent all around Ontario. It's not just an urban phenomenon, not just in Southern Ontario. We learned that it's growing quicker in northern rural communities. I think a shocking thing that we found was looking at children and youth homelessness. There is a really high rate and increasing proportion of chronic homelessness among youth and children, about 25% of the chronic homeless population. And that's really alarming and sad to hear. It should be be cause for concern because it can really perpetuate the cycle of homelessness through lifespans and generations.
Appreciate, yeah, on that one. Yeah, I doubled you up on questions and you nailed them both. So thank you very much. One of the key findings, and you touched on this, is that in 2024, more than 80,000 Ontarians were known to be homeless. You continue to outline, as you just stated, how it continues to grow, and that's grown since 2016. Why do you think that is? What's that underlying factor?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a whole host of reasons why people become homeless. This question could be a full interview on its own, and I know there's a lot of experts that could tell this better than I. One of the things that was beyond the scope of the study we documented the increase and the rise, but could not go into all the detailed reasons. But there's a few things I can say that we sort of know from our practitioners on the ground and from experts in the field. The affordability crisis. It's been certainly a contributor with inflation and rising rents. And there's also been flatline social assistance rates since 2018 in the province of Ontario. Really what it comes down to and what all governments are sort of working on is increasing the housing supply in the province. And we really need the right mix of supply. We just don't have enough non-market housing, including supportive housing and deeply affordable community housing. Another reason for the rise in homelessness, there's a clear intersection with the mental health and addictions crisis. And we just don't really have, the services that are needed to help all the people. And as a result, they become at risk of homelessness or stay homelessness for longer periods of time. We talk a lot about encampments. There's a lot of encampments all across Ontario, a lot of visible homeless people sleeping outdoors. One of the things that we don't have enough funding for is homeless shelters. There's just not enough spaces for people to go to from those encampments.
Appreciate that perspective. I don't want to get to funding just yet, but I do want to talk about something that jumped out from the data in the report, and it's how homelessness affects individuals of varying socioeconomic backgrounds differently. What are some of those learnings about homelessness within Indigenous communities that we should be aware of?
Yes. We learned some things, and I think it's fair to say we're still in the process of learning. So as outlined in the report and what has generally been known through different studies over the years is that the Indigenous people are overrepresented in the homelessness population. In some cases, the proportion of people that are homeless in some communities or municipalities is over 50%. And this can be very high, particularly in Northern Ontario. And we also learned that the levels of people that are chronic homelessness among Indigenous people is very high as well too. AMO attributes that to the enduring effects of colonialism, and we do know the numbers that we reported in the report. We think for Indigenous people that's an undercount. And that's clearly acknowledged in the report and explicitly stated. There's a whole host of reasons why Indigenous people are not known by the system, so they're not always able to be counted in these formal ways. So we recognize there's the need to work with Indigenous communities and organizations to better quantify Indigenous homelessness, and AMO also supports Indigenous developed and Indigenous-led housing solutions to be able to address the crisis.
Point and something to hammer home about AMO and its position on the issue. So thank you very much. Flipping to the other side of the coin, maybe to more the inputs, when it comes to housing crisis data in the report, it shows that when it comes to government spending on homelessness and housing, municipalities have done their part in stepping up despite having limited resources. How can other levels of government become better municipal partners to support our communities with this issue?
Yeah, good question. It really gets to the heart of the issue. We felt that we had to initiate this study. It was a real critical step for us to make the business case in an evidence-informed way backed by data. We really wanted this study, and it is serving as a platform for conversation with the government based on the key findings and the proposed solutions. What we think that the other orders of government need to do is to recognize the pressure that municipalities are under with this growing crisis, and that we need the tools and the resources. And we also need other governments to recognize the scale and the urgency of this crisis. Our hope is that this will be elevated to a real priority, and work will be undertaken with communities to solve the crisis. And I think there's a strong feeling here is that, this doesn't have to be inevitable. The research outlines what needs to be done. And AMO and our member municipalities and our partners, we're ready to work with the government to chart a path forward. And we're not the only ones asking to take action to end homelessness. There's a broad agreement, I think, in a societal consensus that we need meaningful action. We just really can't ignore the staggering numbers in this report. We have proposed solutions that need careful consideration. And again, our hope is that this is going to inform public policy and funding decisions by the government, and we'll see where it takes us.
You said, Michael, thank you. Now, maybe the big takeaway, finally, based on the data in the report, what are some of the next steps to tackling homelessness in Ontario?
Right. So, yeah, I think we need to build on the report, and we need to build on the data, and we need to do that careful consideration of the interventions that we mentioned in the report. There's been a number of recent enumeration counts in different municipalities that are confirming that homelessness is continuing to increase, just like we projected in the report that it would overall across in Ontario. For this question, I'd like to focus a little bit about what I think municipalities and district social service administration boards can do. And I think really the main thing they can do is keep providing those vital homelessness and housing services and leverage provincial and federal investments when they can. One thing that we pointed out was it's really important to focus on permanent housing solutions rather than emergency responses like homelessness shelters. So that's something that we'd like to see a shift in the system. And really importantly, I think what municipalities can do is to keep collecting this data and tracking expenditures. This will help raise awareness and make the case for investment. This can be used in a variety of situations through delegations, correspondence to the government, and talks with the community and elected officials. I think we can continue to keep up that good work to keep the issue front and center to the public and to the government.
Well said. I know as an individual municipality, as Middlesex County, and as an association, AMCTO, we appreciate AMO and all the work they do for our sector. And I think we're all better when we work together. So thank you. And Michael, thank you for sharing your perspectives and insights. For those watching, if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to read the full article in our Municipal Monitor 2025 Q2 issue. You can also download the full research report available on the AMO website. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please stay tuned for more Municipal Monitor extras to come, hosted by your new 2025 to 2026 AMCTO President, Danielle Mann. And if you're watching this and thinking, I have a unique municipal perspective to share, please consider contributing to future editions of the AMCTO Municipal Monitor, and you too could be featured in our next Municipal Monitor Extra. Visit the Municipal Monitor page on the AMCTO website for more information and submission guidelines. Thank you again for watching, and have a great rest of your summer.